everyone. Today I'm going to show you the Spanish language resource called MakeMake that I think both elementary school level educators, both Spanish educators and bilingual educators, Spanish English bilingual educators would be interested in. This is a new resource from Oakland Public Library, and I'm going to show you how to get there from this homepage of Oakland Public Library. So we're going to go to the all online resources. And then for kids, books and reading. And then we're gonna scroll down to MakeMake. It needs a library card, credentials, and it'll make you go through a login page before it'll take you to this homepage of MakeMake usually, but I've already logged in. Okay. And then from here, we can see immediately it's a pretty engaging site. The first thing you'll notice is that it's in Spanish. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to change it to English. Also up here, you can see there's some accessibility notes that you can change font size. You can also change the font to even dyslexic friendly font and contrast, etc. But we're going to leave it as is for now. And you can also look at notifications from your account if that so interests you. I assume if you have an account and you're using it more actively, you will be getting more notifications. Okay, so just so we have an idea of the homepage, I'm going to scroll. We have authors and series, recommended books, collections, chapter books, interactive books, etc. And what I want to point out is that this site has books for elementary school students of all ages. You have first readers, intermediate readers, and advanced readers. And then every book will have like an age recommendation on it as well, grade and age recommendation. So advanced readers, and it's for 13 years and up. It's an EPUB, etc. Okay, we're gonna go back here because there are some things I want to show you here. The first is the collections page. And so all of the books are in Spanish. There are some books where you can learn English, and then there are also bilingual books. And the bilingual books are very interesting. This one really caught my eye, and it is for definitely for early readers from 5 years old, and it's also interactive. And the interactive books on this site really take advantage of the digital format, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So there is audio that they provide, and for example, if we keep going, so we can change things and it'll play a sound. Very loud sound. That's something I really like about this book that I find really interesting. You can change those, but because it's loud, I'm going to not do that. And another bilingual book. Oh, it's freezing. I also wanted to show this book, for example. It's also a bilingual one, and this one also speaks to you, but you can change it to Spanish. Señoros. And that I find really cool in this book in particular. But there's a bunch of different styles of books. For example, we go here, this book will give you more of the experience of turning pages, which I think is a cool visual technique. And there are just a lot of there's EPUBs, there's different styles of books that students can see. The other thing I wanted to point out here is the countries function. So this is a Colombian resource. So it has books from all over the world that are in Spanish. Obviously a lot of like Latin American and Spanish speaking countries, but even like countries like Estonia are on here and like Australia. And of course the Colombian, Mexican, and United States books, I see, I'm gonna spell it again. The United States ones are the ones that have the most books in them, but all of these have at least one book. Okay, and then the cool thing that I wanted to point out is that every book essentially is going to have an education guide. We're just going to click on something. Okay, it's going to have an educator's guide. So this is great for students. You can print this out for your students. Even this one has little binder holes in it for them to put in their binders. And it has a ton of different information all in Spanish. This one, hmm, this is more for educators, but there are some that are more for students, like this one. And this one is great because this one has more things where you can give it to your students to think about. And I like these ones because they also have like historical context or social context to them. They have questions for before, during, and after reading, more resources, more questions, activities. And I think that it's really great that these are provided. And this brings me to my favorite aspect of this resource, which is the reading plan, which is where we just were. And for ease of explanation, I'm actually going to show you the 2023 reading plan PDF because I have a great explanation where the reading plan is a 12-month reading program based on 12 different questions designed to encourage discussions around a set of recommended books. So each month there are 3 recommended books, one per reading level, and through Oakland Public Library you will have access to those books for free for 30 days. And this is just a summary of it from 2023 that includes the questions and some notes. But if we wanted to go, this is what I just showed you was um the reading plan for this month. And you can also go and see future months if you wanted to. And yeah, one per book. I mean one per reading level. And then there's also MakeMake Live. You can access that right here as well. Um, where this month they're doing a bilingual story time, but they're just different interactive resources where you can hear other people speaking at the very least. And some of them are like practical activities and examples, and like so you'll be doing stuff, but then some of them are more just like you are listening to other people speak. But I think that's a great resource since the rest of this is very asynchronous. And then there's also a blog that is also really useful for educators, just has a bunch of different types of information from like education oriented resources to things like digital resources um, that promote the digital education background. And then one of the last things I wanted to show was the help section. I think this is a great place to wrap up today because this has a lot of different information on it about the administrative side of MakeMake because there is an app that you can use and it's not essential, but it helps you utilize or read the books offline and use the information offline. And so there's just a lot of information if you do find yourself needing more troubleshooting support. I would say that this resource is definitely for people who are already fluent in Spanish, on the educator side at least. That although it is this homepage, you can translate it into English. For the most part, everything else is in Spanish. And even if you wanted to do a search, for example, for friendship in English, or a keyword search, it would only bring up 2 things versus in Spanish, it would bring up a lot more things. I think that's definitely something to keep in mind when you are using the search function at the very least, You also can't really look up bilingual um, books from this page. You have to go through the collections page. But other than that, I think it is an extremely useful resource, and I really like how they utilize the digital format to make it engaging to students, especially young students. All right, thank you so much. I hope you thought this was helpful, and I hope you can find something in this research that resource that helps you.